I'm getting the standings up. That's what I was doing. F2, there we go. So, Big Bowers won the title last week, as we all know. So this race for him, I can imagine he's just going to have some fun, as are probably a lot of the drivers in the field. Some guys are reserves tonight that are just, I think, filling in. So that would be awesome, Tom, reading that. If Cody's, for those of you that haven't seen the comment, if for Codemasters, if they could extend the lobby, but like have the max 22 drivers, but then you could have like a reserve of like an extra 3 or 4 or 5, whatever, for people that want to come in and actually watch it in the session. Be pretty cool. And then you can have more commentators as well, a bit more easily as well, or even more than that. A good feature. They are kind of expanding the multiplayer from what I've seen, with obviously the co-op career mode next year, so hopefully. This is emotional. It is emotional, my friend. Season finale. We never think we get there sometimes, do we? But it's a day we never want to get to, that's for sure. Rain? Pimus has just put rain in the chat. I don't know if that means in the race, because it's looking pretty dry for one-shot quali. I highly doubt there's going to be a shower before the end of the lap. As here we go. It is for the race. Nice. Send it dry setup. Well, Dixon has gone a bit bold there. Let's go to the front of the field. At the moment, it is Luna Ascari who was leading the race until turn 1. Everyone is kind of jockeying for position at the moment, so I'm going to keep it with CDR the Hound for now, until it all kind of, as we see, Sadistic King has retired. And we got a dry sprint race. Okay, so wet feature race, dry sprint race. Okay, very interesting. We got Jay Williams currently on for pole position as it looks before we come around to sector 2. Let me get the telemetry and map up and everything as well. See Wild Dog going into P4 there. Let's ride on board with New Hands Dixon on his dry setup, and it's clearly working for you, my friend, at the moment here in P1 as we're going around just past sector 1 split. Room 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1 in second there. Jay Hartnell third. This is all mixing up quite a little bit as we're going into the tough middle sector. We see, interesting to see through the castle section, Jay Hartnell taking that very nicely indeed, I must say. I called him Nico Hulkenberg on Sunday, so it's probably given him a burst of choice. To avoid the screen blacking out, go to driver select. Perfect. Cheers, mate. Ah, okay, of course. New Hands Dixon, there we go. And then spectate. There we go. Perfect. Thanks for that, Tom. As we see, New Hands Dixon has gone purple middle sector. Unfortunately, my face is kind of cutting out part of the time. We can see he's on a 34 at the moment. Flat out full commitment through those S's there. Up to the line. I'd be very surprised if anyone nicks this off Dixon, that is for sure, for the season finale. Who is going to start on pole? Kind of said that a little bit too early before the line then, but it is Dixon with a 49.5, a 50.1 for Vroon in P2 there. Jay Hartnell P3, Lynx P4 at the moment, just waiting for everyone else to cross the line. Wild Dog in P5 there, very strong showing from him. As we see Leppy about to cross the line there, must have made a mistake, I think, may get disqualified from session maybe, potentially invalidating. This is like full wet. Dixon saying it's like full wet and it's in dry. Wow. I can only imagine what it's going to be like. I'm going to have to be fully prepared for this. So, I can't actually say what drink it is because of, well, it doesn't really matter. I've got an energy drink to keep me entertained and energised through the race. As we see the standings there, we've got a more comment. Sadistic King, no setup. Unlucky there. I put chat rules in. I didn't realise I had that, but okay. Luna with a 50.8. That's a very good time, Luna. Where are you on the... Oh, you were disqualified with a 50... Oh, right, okay. Tell us the brand, Bowie. Very unfortunate with your lap there, Luna. Hopefully people do what happened on Saturday. Well, I did do comms on that race on Saturday, Dixon. So, you know, maybe it's just every time I do comms, you seem to do well. That might be the case, who knows. Okay, yeah, there's not a question of a doubt here. It is a wet race, ladies and gentlemen. Your lucky charm. It's what we like to hear. 13 of you in it tonight. You can tell it is definitely the season finale, that's for sure. Let's hope to keep these numbers up. We've now got 18 of you in the stream here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Let's keep these numbers up for next season and keep them strong, because we will only have one tier next season, I believe, in Formula 2. So imagine racing in these conditions in Baku in real life. I could imagine it, but only for a short period of time before I spin or crash or come into the pits. But here we go, formation lap. I still love the first time I ever did comms here. I built it. Oh, as we see, Rune has nearly lost it there on the formation lap. I get in the sense these cars are going to be very hard to get off the line in these conditions. I say I'm getting the sense, I know these cars are going to be very hard in these conditions. It's going to probably be a case of sadistic. I love there. Did I sit? Oh, sorry Lou, I didn't see your message. No. So yeah, the bit at the start is called one-shot qualifying. So they don't do it anymore in real life. They used to. But it means that everyone is on track at the same time, and it's just, yeah, where you finish in that session is where you start the race from. So that was qualifying, and then for in Formula 2 they have a system where they have 2 races. So in the next race, the top 8 will be reversed, and then whoever finishes 8th will start first, whoever finishes 7th will start second, like that, because it's Formula 2, in real life it's the feeder series for Formula 1, so they kind of mix it up to see how drivers do and react and sort of thing, and all the cars are equal. As we see a nice drift there from P2 trying to warm his tyres. Sadistic, I believe in you. I believe in you. It can't get worse than Saturday, right? What happened on Saturday, that's for sure. It is a different format this year. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that works in the game as well, because is it 2 sprint races first, Tom, and then the feature race on the Sunday? So they do the qualifying and then they don't actually do the qualifying for that race on... Yeah. So do you know how they do the grid for the first sprint race? Is it championship standings or... Really not. I've just looked over there. We got P Crazy, Pimmy, Era Vintage, and Sadistic. Luckily, they will be. I am going to basically turn everything off my Wi-Fi as well, just to make sure I'm in tip-top condition. Get reverse for sprint race 1. Okay, then the same for sprint race 2 with the results, followed by the feature race. Okay, perfect. Thanks for that, mate. I'm going to make sure I am ready. That is going to go there, which is great. And there we go. There's no grip at all. This is horrible. I do feel your pain, Dixon. That really threw me with the cars on the grid there. I thought everyone was just going to the wrong spot. We all believe in you. We know how hard these conditions can be. But dry setup all the way. You'll be rapid down the straight. That's where you'll be overtaking people or defending, but I don't know about the rest of the lap. This could well be a timed race, correct? And that's a little bit of a glitch there, thinking the cars moved away, but they haven't. But here we go, lights out, and away we go for the season finale in the feature race at Baku. Looks like Dixon actually gets a very good launch there and maintains P1. Everyone is doing very well to keep it in a straight line, I must say. Especially at this circuit, that is for sure. Into turn 1, we're seeing everyone is still facing in the right direction from what it looks like. Everyone being very well behaved in this final feature race, that is for sure. The timings have messed up a little bit, and we see contact there with, I think it was either Jay Hartnell or Lynx, and I believe that is now a crash at the back of the field. Let's go back there. There is a crash at the back of the field. We've got P Crazy in the wall there, Jay Williams at the back with Pimis, CDR. I'm not sure if somebody span, and then everyone just had to wait their turn effectively. If someone can let me know, that would be awesome. But here we are. I don't think that even caused the safety car there. So if we go back up to the field, we can see Lynx 2 tenths behind Cecil there. Wild Dog has lost a few positions at the start as we see contact from Lynx and has lost the back end and now probably lost a part of his front wing there. Hitting all these conditions look absolutely treacherous as Wild Dog is now picking up the pieces back into P5. A bit of a gap then. Let's see what these guys can do. It's looking very tight at the front, but I will say Dixon on his dry setup is absolutely taking away at the front. I'm not convinced that's a full dry setup. I think you're lying to us there, Dixon. But either way, he is doing a fantastic job out in front. Jay Hartnell under a little bit of pressure there. As we see Jay Williams and Pimis coming together now. I think Jay Williams has been overtaken by the other Hound. The field is starting to be quite spread out already here. Let's go back to the battle for P3 with Caesar 4/10 behind Jay Hartnell there. As we see Lynx and Wild Dog are side by side. Going to look at the rear view cam here to see Lynx get that move done onto the final corner. Technically not the final corner. As we see Caesar got a fantastic drive out of that corner there and is right behind Jay Hartnell. I can see this being a move down into T1 for sure, providing they can both keep it in a straight line. See in the slipstream. That hasn't worked at all. There we go, side by side. New Hans Dixon with the fastest lap, no surprise there. But 2:14. So that's very quick given these conditions. As we see Caesar there side by side and up into P3. Is Jay Hartnell going to hang it around the outside? No, he is going to concede that position for now. Let's go back to the start there as we see Leppy. As the timings have kind of gone a little bit wrong there again. I'm going to have to let that sort out. But I think that is Luna down the inside of ARL Vintage there. And Leppy giving a bit of a love tap at the rear. That was unlucky, Seb. I can definitely agree with you on that one, that's for sure. As we see Pimis and the Hound have come into the pits. I'm pretty convinced New Hound Dixon is still leading this race. And that he is. Just going to have to let it all re-sync again, unfortunately. Going purple sector 1. That's not the correct. Okay, I'm going to go back this way. There we go. Caesar there chasing the rune down for what it will be P2 and P3. Well, this is something. Pimis is loving his life. I think, Pimis, did you get stuck behind your teammate in the pits then? If so, let me know. Nice double pit stop. Yeah, I did think that. If you want anyone to come into the pits in front of you, it is not your teammate, my friend. But get some good quali laps in, mate. Try and set fastest lap. Right, as it has now, we'll go on back up to the top. We see Lynx there as Luna has got up into P5 past Lynx. So really making up for that poor qualifying from Luna. Up into P5 as we see Wild Dog in P7. Not too far away from this train. Had no choice. That is unlucky, my friend. I do feel for you. Dog has clipped the wall there. I believe that was Wild Dog. That may have been Lynx. Let's try and see if we can spot the damage on his wing. But nothing as of yet. Let's go back to... Let's see who's close. We see ARL Vintage only 3/10 behind Wild Dog here. I think this could be a move. I think Leppy and Nova's Wes could want to get involved in the action here as well. Could be fantastic down start finish straight here. We're going to see Leppy in the slipstream of ARL Vintage. I think Wild Dog's managed to pull away from this a little bit actually. As we see down the inside from Leppy there. Who's going to be the bravest? This could go 3 wide. Nova's Wes kind of does the sensible thing in backing out there, and down the inside for Leppy into P8 at the moment on reverse grid pole for the sprint race, but obviously a long way to go, that is for sure. Some of this rain looks treacherous. It looks like there's the reflection of like the buildings, look like there's wing damage. As we see Caesar here is down the inside of Rune for P2 and gets that move done, I believe. Is Rune going to try and send it up the inside? No, so Caesar now. What can he do? Can he get up the road and press New Hans Dixon here? The gap is currently 8.7 seconds, which I'm sure he will be well aware of, as we see Sadistic King has retired in the pit lane. Very unlucky for you, my friend. I do feel for you. Baku hasn't really been that kind to you recently, has it? And there is a massive train here forming. I think it's from Leppy and from Lynx in 6th down to Nova's in 10th. Gonna ride on board through this castle section. It looks like there are a lot of cars here. This is just crazy. This, as we see, there has been contact there. Lynx, Leppy. Well, I'm not too sure who's hit who there, but there is a traffic jam forming just after the castle section. Rosie has really caught up to this train. They are all massively slowing each other up. Going to stay on board with Nova's Wes here just to kind of see what's... I think Lynx may have damage, and Nova's West definitely has damage now, that is for sure. Commentators curse staying on board with you there. I do apologise. I think all of these cars could potentially have damage, but there is now, I believe, a VSC. Let me know if there is. I kind of can't... nothing's coming up, but the whole track's in yellow, so I'm assuming there is... Press triangle multiple times. VSC. Okay, cool. Oh, okay. There we go. Race control. And there we go. Perfect. Thanks for that, Tom. Not risking taking out another car. This car is not drivable with the setup. Okay. That makes sense. So just to kind of work it for... see what you can do in the next race, that's for sure. As we see, some people are now pitting. These are the guys that have wing damage, I'm sure. 5-second time penalty for Wes there as well. Not ideal for him. Can't get it slowed down, looking like. And I'm pretty convinced someone just went off. If that was Pimis down the escape road there for turn 1. Wild Dog and Aero Vintage now battling very closely for 7th and 8th. As Wild Dog outbreaks himself, these conditions are looking horrendous, ladies and gentlemen. Very tricky at all. As Wild Dog does have wing damage, and he's choosing to stay out, so very brave, to be sure. That's true. That's true. Less laps in the sprint race, so it would have probably been a bit more bearable, I'd say, but very unlucky. As we've seen, Aero Vintage is looking very racy behind Wild Dog. You can see that damage is very visible in his car to the outside. This could be very brave if he gets it done. I'm not sure there was enough room there. Wild Dog lives to fight another day for now. It's kind of looking like, oh, everyone's taking that section so carefully. The next closest battle is Leppy in P6. Only 3/10 behind ours. There is a massive slide from Jay Hartnell there. Leppy has to really put the anchors on to avoid that for sure. Avoid sliding into him, if anything. But I believe this move will be done at the end of T1. If I was a betting man, which I'm not, well, sometimes I would bet on Leppy being into P5 by the end of this straight, that is for sure. Let's ride on board, see what the slipstream's like. That spray just looks absolutely horrific. There is a yellow flag, sector 3. Is that going to go into a safety car? Is Leppy going to get this move done? That is very brave, and he does back out. Probably the right decision there. Let's go back and see why there was a safety car, why there was a yellow flag, as Rosie has lost it from P10 down to P10 now then. And Wild Dog has decided to come into the pit to change his wing. Got Jay Williams back up in P8 after his unlucky start. So just been fighting his way through the field, and obviously people are pitting with damage. So it is survival of the fittest. For sure in Baku. You see Luna up in P3, who has overtaken Bruno. Sorry guys, we missed that on the footage there, but very strong drive from Luna at the moment. Tom did say that Luna was his driver to watch for this race, so living up to the expectations, that is for sure. These cars look so terrifyingly awkward under braking. They just don't want to stick by the looks of it. I do not feel sorry for these drivers at all, that is for sure. Rosie choosing to continue on her wing damage there. As we see at the back, Lynx has now come under some trouble there and lost some positions to Novas, who is in the slipstream of Wild Dog. Is Novas going to get this move done? Decides to back out down the inside, probably the right call, as Wild Dog does run wide there and tap the wall again on that corner. Is he going to go down the inside? Yes, he is. No, he isn't. Apologies, I thought he was then. Luna has got this. Dixon as well. ART, ART, ART. It's what we like to see. I tell you what, these guys are I think they're driving very well to keep it on the track, keep it in a straight line, and still kind of manoeuvre around each other. Let me see. A fastest lap from New Hans Dixon there with a 2-minute 8.4. He is clearly not backing off on that dry setup. Comment in the chat if we believe him. I reckon he's having us on. You see Waddle there. I noticed a lot of wheel spin from Wes as well. Let's have a look. I think trying to get back to the closest sort of battles. Luna's kind of pulling away from P4 there. Seeing if she can close down Caesar, which would be a great result, that's for sure. We see Rosie here. Is Rosie going to have a look at Nivi into turn 1? Having to lift so much because of the rain, it's just outrageous. Very well to keep out of the wall there. We're going to stay on board with Rosie and see if she can get this move done into turn 1. I think she might be a little bit too far back, but you never know. Is Rosie coming into pit? I think, okay, this move will not get done into turn 1 because Rosie has come into the pits. I know obviously it's a mandatory pit stop in the feature race in the dry. Is it one in the wet as well, guys? Let me know. Are we going to see some people trying to stay out of the entire race? Although it's looking like it could dry come the end. There is definitely a drier line forming. I know it's obviously 9 laps to go, but yes, they can. Okay, perfect. Thanks, Tom. I wouldn't rule out this track getting dry before the end. I know that's a bit of a bold call, but you can definitely see a bit of a dry line forming, especially through this section here. You can see it. I know obviously the cars are on the track a lot more, but we'll assess it in a few laps. Drier. It just seems so tricky to be able to get the power down in these cars. As another fastest lap. This track is definitely getting drier. I'm pretty convinced on that. 100% getting drier, that's for sure. I'm going to load the stream up on my phone and actually be a little bit closer to... There's a bit of a delay on my computer, so I'm going to try, and it says I am live, so let me click on my stream switch. That would be lovely. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. We are back. The field is kind of spreading out a bit, ladies and gentlemen. At the moment, we kind of got a lot of 2-second gaps between cars. Luna's slowly pulling that gap in, I think, on Caesar, but it's kind of fluctuating from what I'm seeing. And then we got a lot of 2-second gaps, and then a big gap between Jay Williams and Nivi there of 23, 24 seconds now. So it's kind of 2 races going on at the moment, I'd say. Check who has stopped so far. That is very true, Tom. Let's do that. Stops. Okay, so 2 for the bottom 2, 15th and 16th there. 1 from Rosie. And we got Lynx, Wild Dog and Novas who have pit. So everyone else has to pit in front of them. And P Crazy is in the pit as we speak. So they could start coming in now, maybe. So it could get quite interesting in the next couple of laps. We see Leppy there hitting his rev limits at quite some margin. Not ideal. Going to see how new Hans Dixon is getting on. Haven't really spoken about him at the moment. He's not looking like he's pitting this lap, that's for sure. Caesar and Luna, the gap's trying to stay in the same 2.77. That is a great lap from Dixon, that's for sure. Just completely in control of this race at the moment, which is a delight for him since he was a little bit nervous. See Jay Williams is trying to gain on ARL Vintage there. It just looks so treacherous on the low speed. I don't think it's going to get dry. I lied. I take that back. As we see Rune has pit from P4. Where will Rune come out? Let's see who. Let's get the stops up again. So Novus and Wild Dog is going to be the real kind of key here, as we see Jay Hartner also pitting. Leppy is deciding to stay out. So there we go, bit of a delay, but we're going to see. I think Novus and Wild Dog were the 2 closest to him, but I do think Rune had a bit of a gap on them anyway, as the game has just taken me off of him, which is fantastic. I don't think they're going to be anywhere near him, to be brutally honest. He has come out quite comfortably there. in 5th place. So Jay Hartnell coming out now. Jay Williams pitting. ARL Vintage also pitting. As we see Novus there under pressure from Nibby, but Novus has stopped. So we're going to see if he can now jump any of these guys coming out the pits, but I don't think he will. Quite interested what's happened to Wild Dog. He seems to have lost a little cool. Rune here, he has wing damage and a dry setup. Okay, that makes much more sense as to why you're pitting, my friend. Did very well with wing damage, I must say, to keep it going. So congrats and good luck for the rest of the race, that is for sure. It'd be interesting to know what the tyre life was like when Rune pitted. As we see, P Crazy has retired from the session. Is that on track? It's looking like it could be on track. We're going to get to the yellow flags on board with Pimis at the moment, coming up to the yellow flags. Could he have lost it on this fast left-hander here? We'll never know because the game's got rid of his car, but it looks like Pimis taking that very quick there. Almost putting it in the wall up into P15. So many things to keep in mind while playing this game. That is very true, Seb. It can get, as we see Dixon in the pit, and Luna has stayed out. A lot to keep track of. A lot of people just think it's racing. There's a lot of strategy in play, that's for sure, and keeping it on the track, which is the hardest one. As he sees all that X in the pit, Luna has decided to stay out, so that's going to be interesting. As we see Leppy with a 5-second penalty there for speeding, and the pit lane, that is not ideal. Rune has jumped back up into P4 though. Wing damage for Leppy there. Jay Hartnell coming down the main straight. Is he going to jump Leppy and get into P5? Overtaking looks like it does. It really does, and I do not envy it. Racing in the wet on this game is either amazing and everything goes your way, or it's just so tricky in every corner. Or you're Dixon and just seem to be on steroids for wet weather driving, as he's closing down Luna there. Only 2.9 seconds. Doesn't need to be closing down though, I don't think, because Luna will most likely be stopping, and even if she doesn't, I don't think Dixon's going to have any trouble passing. She just seems to be on a different level at the moment. Is that Pimis in it? I think, no, it's not. It's Thunderbolt, there we go. Meow from Titan and Gallifrey there. Love that. See, on board with Luna there. Dixon is catching up very quickly. These guys are ART teammates as well, so obviously probably not going to want to do anything too... so that's a bit wide there. New Hunter no, does go purple middle sector. I do think Luna has an off chance of P2. No, she does not. It's really kind of between Jay Hartnell, Luna, Flying Welshman, Dan Murphy and Dixon for like P3 to P8 really. So as we see, Luna does go into the pits there. Dixon going very close to the wall. Very close indeed to the wall, and Thunderbolt looks like he's trying to take him out there. That's a little bit weird, and he has now crashed into the wall. I don't think he was taking him out. I think he's just lost his back end and kind of crashed a little bit there, which is very unfortunate. Where will Luna come back out? That will be very... already down to P2. Lost the position to Cecil there. Luna is now coming out the box. Where is Rune? I think she may have maintained P3 by the looks of it. Definitely looking like that is the case. As we see, there is Luna in front, about to go into turn 2, and now onto the first DRS straight. Is that a VSC? That is a VSC. Where is Thunderbolt? There is a gap. Can we see him on track? I don't think we can. I think he was in the wall there, but I'm not too sure. There we go, as the car has now disappeared. I think lost it in the wet, which is very easy to do, as we all know. I bet Luna's wishing she pitted the next lap under the VSC, because that would have really helped her. Oh, of course. Of course, Tom's just corrected me there. They can't take their mandatory stop on the VSC. So it wouldn't have made a difference. If anything, it would have just meant Luna would have had to stay out an extra lap until that disappeared there. Right on board with Dixon at the moment. ARL Vintage is 1.5 behind Novas, who is 6/10 behind Jay Hartnell. Let's go to these guys and have a look. Getting very close, going up into the castle section. That was Dixon there, I believe, about to start another lap, or finish his lap and start another lap. Will this be fastest lap as well, as he just has... Oh no, it's for VSC, so it wouldn't be, of course not. Through the castle section then, very closely followed is Jay Hartnell and Novas there. ARL Vintage 2 seconds behind. Can he gain as well and close the gap? The spray does kind of look pretty cool though. I do love how it looks in this game in the wet weather, that's for sure. Could there be a move into turn 1 with these two? What do you guys think? Pimis has now retired from the session. I believe that is in the pit lane. So it is. I mean, he was in the points, I believe. Oh, it's not. It's not that way for this one, is it? I don't think. So is Pimis retired in the pit lane? Or is he not? I think he may have retired in the pit lane. Crash? Okay. I did see a bit of debris, actually. I'm trying to find you. Okay, I'm not going to find your car. Apologies, mate. Yeah, I just seen the dot. I saw the dot and I thought he was... Wow, as we see an accident there with Lynx and Wild Dog, it looks like, on the back straight. Very similar, look very similar to Lance Stroll at Baku and Verstappen. That is not ideal at all, as Wild Dog will be pitting for repairs there. As we see Leppy in the box as well, and Nivi. Did Lynx get through that unscathed? Press triangle, okay. I keep like not noticing when the game's been a bit weird with the thing there. But yeah, apologies. I saw Pimis's car. I saw a dot and I thought he was going into the pits to retire, but my mistake there. But this race has really been turned on its head with that little three-way crash there. We see Jay Williams at the moment will be starting on pole position for the sprint race. 4 laps to go. Anything is possible, as we see Novas is still very close to Jay Hartnell here. Got 15 finishes. The wheel spin is unbelievable coming out of that corner. Hey Nico, how are you doing? There was a full course today, you could tell due to the map. Oh, of course, of course. Lou, on this race, yes, everyone has to make a pit stop. On the next race, there is no mandatory pit stop. So some drivers might stop, but you don't have to, which is the ideal strategy. As we see Novas getting very close there onto the final corner, almost pushing Jay Hartnell around the corner there. Let's get rid of these stops and ride on board through this fast S section here. Running a little bit wide from Jay Hartnell. Got a much better exit. Novas took that corner so much better and is alongside now, alongside Jay Hartnell up into P5. Is Jay Hartnell going to duck back into the slipstream? It's looking likely. Is this going to be a bit like Leclerc and Gasly in the actual race? Jay Hartnell decides to back out. Probably the right decision just because of the conditions. Devon Butler coming back to F1 2021. I have noticed. Very excited for that, Nico. Very excited indeed. I will be up at midnight on Thursday to get the game installed. That is for sure. Let's have a look at closest battle. These guys are looking like the closest battle here, with Vintage here really gaining on Jay Hartnell. Those two battling has really helped Vintage close the gap. Everyone's just having to tiptoe around this circuit at the moment. See Luna, the gaps at the front are kind of really opened up. Jay Williams has pit there. With wing damage. That is very unfortunate. I must have missed that. missed what had happened anyway. Rosie up into P10 and Nibby up into P11 with Jay Williams now down in P12 at the moment. Can I do a watch long for the race for France? I won't be able to, unfortunately, my friend, because of copyright. I wouldn't be able to stream the race. If that is indeed what you mean, unfortunately I would not be able to. As another fastest lap from New Hans Dixon there. Really looking in control of this race, that is for sure. As we see Nibby, and that is a fastest lap now from Caesar in P2. Anything you can do, I can do better, Dixon. You may have got this race win looking likely, but Caesar's not going to give you that point for fastest lap. We see Luna taking fastest lap now with a 2:06.9. The track is getting drier, that is for sure. Or maybe these guys are just getting a little bit more comfortable on these tyres. Who knows? Oh, am I watching and talking? I'm not too sure. I've not really done that before, mate. Not really thought about it. So probably not for this week, but maybe in the future. Maybe in the future. Right, let's have a look. We see Wild Dog and Jay Williams. There are two cars battling in there. Are they the two? Oh, that is these two here battling at the back, and they are going to have to get out the way of Dixon as well, who is fast approaching. See Jay Williams there trying to navigate the castle section, and it looks like a very hard section of the track in the wet, that is for sure. See Wild Dog is going to lift off and give New Hands here. Very well played, to be fair. A lot of people would just not lift because there's ghosting on. So credit where it's due, Wild Dog. You actually lifted and let the leader go. I am a big fan of that. As I said, I have seen a lot of people just not bother lifting and just letting them go through, which can be a bit off-putting. So Jay Williams doing the same there, which is what you love to see. As we see Dixon going purple, clearly on a push lap. Even though negating traffic, although they did make life very easy for him. So I wouldn't be surprised if this lap does get fastest lap. Everyone appears to be pushing, but who's going to push too far? Is anyone going to bin it trying to get fastest lap, which would not be ideal. But I do think Dixon may take this. It was a 2:06, I believe, from Luna. He's going to cross the line with a 2:05.5. That is a great lap around a wet Baku. Wild Dog has now overtaken Jay Williams there into turn 1, and for some reason it has taken me off of him, which is quite annoying. But that move has been done and dusted. I believe Jay Williams will try and get him back potentially down the main straight here. Not the main straight, sorry, the second DRS straight. As the Vintage is only 8/10 now behind Jay Hartnell. I'm going to see if that gap goes down, and I will move over to them if it does. At the moment, it's actually gone up to over a second now. I believe, I'm not sure where they are on track. I believe they're coming up to the final main corner now. So let's jump on board here, as that is correct. Nico has said also are the same people in F1 2021 like in 2019 with Devon Butler and everyone else. I don't think Lucas Weber is. I think it's just, that's a great shot there, seeing cars going both directions. I think it's just Devon Butler, but I'm not too sure. There was a premiere on it today on YouTube. Look at Codemasters YouTube, and there should be like a little mini video on all of the features. If you haven't seen that already, I would recommend it. Oh, Vintage there, not actually closing the gaps. Nibby 4/10 behind Rosie. Just seen a comment from Tom there saying there was an incident at the castle section. Was that with Wild Dog and Jay Williams? Let me know. Oh, my battery is really going on my phone there. That is not ideal. That gap seems to be opening out. Leppy, I think. Okay, oh, as we see Nibby there, who is ghosting. Oh, that is for blue flags. Apologies there. Let's have a look at Leppy and see if there is any damage. I don't think so. Not going to be pitting anyway. As we see these guys now 3/10 apart. I will go back to Dixon on the final lap, but these guys are looking quite racy. They're probably going to be going single file through the castle section though. As we see Novus with a penalty. Let's have a look at penalties here. For the detail, I believe it's 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane, so that will not affect his time unless he spins or unless anything happens. It will not affect where he's going to finish in this race. As you see now, it is on to lap 15. I see Dixon there. I'm going to stay on board with these two just for the final straight, and then we will go and cut back to Dixon. I don't believe anything else is happening on track at the moment. Looking at the mini-map, I think Nivy and Rosie are quite close together, but Nivy is still following suit behind Rosie there in P11 at the moment. See, down this main straight. These two have been at it quite a lot this race. Let's see who's going to get the best run down onto the back straight. Oh, a little bit wide there from Vintage. May have lost a little bit of time. But I am now going to see... Where's Dixon? Dixon's still round the end of the lap. I don't believe this move is going to be done, you know. It is not, so let's cut back to Dixon at the moment, who's about to go into Sector 3 in a minute after he negates the next few corners. Never in doubt, I'm sure a lot of us will be thinking, from how he has performed this race, that is for sure. Never in doubt. As here we go around the final couple of corners here from Dixon on the final lap of this feature race. Sure, he can be very proud of himself. He's going to, it could actually move it quite a way up in the standings because it's quite close. We'll have a look afterwards and see. Obviously, first place is cemented. We all know that. But here we see Dixon now crossing the line to. Is he going to weave a little bit? Not too much, but crossing the line there to take victory in the feature race at Baku, setting the fastest lap as he does it. That is absolutely incredible there with a 2:05.4, taking maximum points from today's race. As we see Cecil there going to cross the line in P2. Is he going to be able to take fastest lap off of Dixon there? No. Now cutting back to Luna, a fantastic drive from Luna, I must say, after a poor qualifying. I think maybe made a mistake and invalidated her lap, but absolutely brilliant recovery drive from Luna there to cross the line in P3. We are going to cut back to Rune now. I was 100% running a dry setup. I do believe you, mate, and that's the scary thing as well. Very well done. As we see Rune 123321 underscore here crossing the line to take P4. There is a yellow flag sector 3, but I'm not sure why that is. As these two here, we've got ARL Vintage and Jay Hartnell still going crazy. Nice driving, Dixon. That is what we like to see. As we see, Nobaz is going to cross the line in P5 there with that penalty, but I don't think it's going to really make much of a difference to his finishing time. It might do, actually. Oh, no, it won't. It won't. With Jay Hartnell here, going to cross the line in P6. Mr. Hulkenberg himself getting Hulkenberg's favourite position of P6 there. ARL Vintage crossing the line, P7. Very well driven by all of these guys, I must say. See Lynx going to come round, who will start this race on reverse grid pole. Lynx is going to come round and take P8 then, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll end this session by crossing the line as everyone else has crossed the line. So that is our top 8 with Leppy in 9 and I think Rosie in P10 then. Lower you on try set this in her. It will be quite interesting to see who went driver of the day. Luna Ascari. I think that would be my driver of the day potentially for just the comeback drive. I think Dixon did great, but I think Luna had to do a bit of overtaking as well. So how did you do it on a dry setup? That is what we all want to know, mate. I want to see your footage. Just playing, mate. Just playing. But that is a very good end to F2 for the feature race, that's for sure. We've still got one more race to come, ladies and gentlemen. The sprint race in the dry, so expect to see much quicker times and probably much closer racing, that's for sure. Dixon was first in the world, unbelievable there. 2:05.4, great laps. Oh my word, there are quite a few. There's quite a difference in the fastest laps. Dixon there doing very well with that 2:05. The top 3 doing very well. The top 5 doing well with their laps, to be fair, to get under 2:10. And Leppy there with a 2:09. Also very good to get under 2:10 mark, which Pimis almost did it, to be fair. But congratulations to everyone for that race. It looks treacherous, so let's hope this one's much better. Hopefully it'll feel like you're all in Formula 1 cars. Probably not that good. It will be very interesting to see how the sprint race factors. That's at least something's positive. Yeah, there we go. See, Pimis, that's what we like. Don't worry, I'll send you some fish and chips, mate, if you get in the points this race. Going for max points, could pick third in the championship, I think. Good racing, everyone. Dixon, you know we've got Luna in the chat here, who is also fighting for P3 in the championship. This could get tasty. The two teammates fighting for P3, unless I've worked out terribly wrong, but I think that's how it's kind of looking. Jay Hartnell, fine Welshman. Also very close indeed. So we got Luna 113, Jay Hartnell 83, the Flying Welshman 76, Dan Murphy 76, and TTV Dixon 72 with Nivy on 66. That was going into this race though, so Tom has just said, I think Luna has mathematically achieved P3 in the standings now. If that is correct, then congratulations to Luna, a big congratulations there. If it's not correct, go get her, guys. You know what you got to do. I believe in you all. Dixon, you didn't read it. Pretend you didn't read it and go into this race wanting the win in the fastest lap. But if that is true, then yeah, big congrats to Luna. Maximum of 17 points left in the sprint race. Perfect. Of course, yes. I can't do maths most of the time. And the grid, we got Lynx, then Vintage. Jay Hartnell, Novas, Rune, Luna Ascari, Caesar, Newhans Dixon. Then we've got Leffy P9, Rosie P8. P8, Rosie P10, sorry. I'm going to do everything in my power to do this. Go on, mate, we believe in you. We've got Nivy P11, Wild Dog P12, Jay Williams 13th, Pimis 14th, The Hound 15th, P Crazy 16th, Lucky of 17th, Sadistic King and Big Balls 18th and 19th there, both disqualified from the session. Did they drive into each other for a little bit of banter? Who knows? This track looks completely different in the dry. It just looks nice. It actually looks inviting now. It doesn't look like you just want to drive away from it and never come back. Oh, Seb, I've just seen your post, mate. You absolute legend. Thank you, my guy. Didn't even realise that had come through. But yeah, if you're still in the chat, thank you. There's 13 of us in here at the moment. I did go up to 18 at one point, which is pretty cool. Almost got on some double digits. Not double digits, over 20. Pimis disqualified from the formation lap. Unlucky, my friend. Cheers, Seb. Good to still see you in here. The next race is... There is no mandatory pit stop. And there are less laps, so the race is kind of designed that the duration of the race is kind of on the edge of where the tyres can go before they run out of grip and you have to pit, so drivers won't be wanting to pit, so they'll have to manage their tyres a bit more and think of the long game. Even though it is a sprint race, they've got to try and make sure they've got some tyres at the end of the race. So 11 laps, be very interesting. They should get to the end without having to do too much tyre wear, but obviously if they have to pit, it's a big disadvantage because no one has to pit. So, especially on a street circuit, it's about not getting damage and just keeping it facing the right way for this one. And having some fun for the final race of this F2 Tier 1 season. Oh, really? I like that. As Thomas just said, the idea of a sprint race to see is the best at racecraft. Yeah, they are definitely set up to be able to observe and watch drivers and see how they are in certain situations. For the big boys and the big teams to watch. That's a very nice view for sure. Very nice look on the grid there. Be interesting to see Dixon fighting his way through. Obviously only 11 laps to go, but here we go. No lights yet, but we've got the weird audio glitch, as we always do with Codemasters. But here we go, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And it is lights out, and away we go for the final race of the F2 season. Lynx seems to get a very good start there. Is he going to have to make a defensive move a little bit, but gets away well and maintains P1. We see Jay Hartnell round the outside there into P2 by the looks of it, potentially. Unfortunately, the timings have all messed up again, so I can't really see who is where, but I know that is Jay Hartnell just because his teammate was on pole. Let's have a look. We see Rune, that is, in P3, shown as P6, but is actually in P3 on board there. As we see, Lynx has hit the wall on the turn in for turn 4 there. Unbelievable bad luck and got wing damage. That is exactly what we did not want to happen for Lynx, and he goes over the curb to good measure. And these two are going to really pull away now. I can imagine Jay Hartnell takes the lead of this race on lap 1. Lynx with damage. That is not ideal for him. Looking a bit further back now. Don't really think much more has gone on. Everyone's kind of following suit. No one's spun out, that is for sure at the moment. Obviously, we've got Lynx with that damage. Is he going to try and stick it out in P3? Is he going to try and get to the end with Vintage actually quite a way back as well? Does Vintage have damage? I don't think so. For some reason, the blue flag mark is showing. I'm not entirely sure why. But here we go. Rune here on the back of Jay Hartnell. 3/10 behind. Surely going to have a look down the main straight into turn 1. As they come around to complete lap 1 here now. Let's see. Jay Hartnell running wide there. That could be a warning for exceeding track limits. You know, it is on strict, so... As we see Rune here going to go down the inside already. That was very brave indeed. And he has hit the wall, and so has Jay Hartnell. Have they both got damage, or do they live to fight another day? They are both, I think, going to go and fight it and try and keep going. But I think Jay Hartnell is missing a little bit of damage there. Is he going to go to the inside? He is going to the inside of Rune here. Down the inside and going to take P1 back. Is Rune going to go and try and get the switch back? It's looking likely, but I think Jay Hartnell has it covered for now. The top 3 all have damage by the looks of it, and if not, then they're very lucky, that is for sure. As we see Rune now going to try and take that lead back again. Down the inside, it's looking a little late there, decides to back out. Jay Hartnell runs a little bit wide, actually doesn't, kind of takes that very well indeed there. These two battling at the front is really entertaining, that's for sure. Who is closing up at the back? Lynx is kind of doing his own thing. And we see Novas and Cecil there. There we go. The timings have all gone back to normal, I believe. So that is the order. So let's have a little bit of a look around. So we got Lynx there in 3rd. Closing back in on Rune, it must be said. I think Rune must have got damage, and maybe Jay Hartnell got away with it. Nova's in P4, Caesar P5, Dixon up to P6 from P8 on the grid, Luna P7, Leppy P8. We got Vintage there in P9 with Nibby P10. Rosie looking racy behind. These guys are all looking quite racy behind, I must say. Very close. From 9th to 14th, no one is separated by more than a second. That is incredibly close at this street circuit, where you've got to be brave and you've got to have your wits about you, that's for sure. As Jolyon Palmer once said, down the inside there from the Hound there on Rosie, not quite paying off. But as Jolyon Palmer once famously said, you've got to have your wits about you on a street circuit. And then he crashed, which really went well for him. As we see Lynx there, is Lynx lost a few positions going into the pit lane? Lynx has not lost, he's not going into the pits, he has genuinely just lost a few positions. Maybe that damage is not looking well for him. And actually it looks like it's quite bad and really affecting him. So we've got Novas up into P3, Caesar P4. 2/10 to separate these two, DRS enabled. There's a bit of a gap now between Jay Hartnell and Rune, so let's see. DRS is enabled. As we can see, the wing at the back is open. Is Caesar going to go down the inside for P3 in this race? Looking like it, but I don't go wide because you will hit. There we go. Novas holds it around the outside. Very well done there. Indeed. Nova Weds, sorry. I keep saying Novas. That's not correct at all. Now 4/10 of a second. How many races is there today? This is the second one, Lou. So there's 2 races for F2 at the weekend. Last season anyway. This season it's changed to 3. But on this game, 2 races. So 7 laps to go, and that is it for this season as well. It's the F2 season will come to an end for now until it renews in a couple of weeks' time. Well, I think there's a few week break in between. As we see a 3-second time penalty there. I think Lynx also has a 3-second time penalty. Let's have... Oh, that's not what I wanted. Is that... Yeah, 2 3-second penalties there. One for Lynx and one for Lucky Borth. Jay Hartnell's looking a little bit comfortable out there. As we got a time penalty for Dixon. Are you sure you've not got a wet setup on there, lad? As we see a yellow flag, sector 2, it is looking like... I'm trying to jump back to see. It's looking like P Crazy there. I think P Crazy made it. But as we go back on board with Jay Williams, he goes into the back there of the Hound. That is really not ideal. Looked like... okay, the Hound does not have a front wing. I was going to say it looked like he broke very early then, but he does not have a front wing, which is why it looks like he's holding Jay Williams up, but he's actually just trying to get it back to the pits, I think. Dixon letting us know that he does also have wing damage in the chat there. As we see Rune going defensive for some, that keeps putting me back every time I look back somewhere. There we see Nova's Wes on the back of Rune here. Is he going to go down the inside? No, he is not. But I tell you who is, and that's Caesar. Sends it with a little bit of a late opportunistic move there. Luckily, no contact. Look back at the right time. Dixon with wing damage, not ideal, but keep going. I'm having a look at the map. Where is the yellow flag? Is it Leppy? It is Leppy, who is facing the wrong way, unfortunately. That has spun. That is a very... He must have hit the curb and spun on the exit. How is Dam starred out? How is DAMN stared out? Don't understand what that means. Stared out? Lou, what do you mean? But there we see, let's have a look. As we see a yellow flag sector 2, there is yet more controversy here. As we see Rosie trying to get it back in a straight line. Vintage and Big battling. Big now up into P9. Where has that come from? I think Wild Dog made a mistake, and he has done. There we see Wild Dog back in 16th. Let's go back to these guys here who are very close at the front. I do see it's 4/10 between third and second, so we're going to have to jump to these guys who are on the straight, and I think this move will be done. Into P2 there. They are side by side, Rune and Nova's Wes, but I think the move is done. I don't think Rune is going to be able to get it back in this corner, but may go for a move on the other DRS straight in just one corner time now. All about getting good exit out of this corner here. And just making sure you can then plant it and put that DRS on. DRS is open as we see. I think it's a little bit too far back to actually get a move done into the end of this straight. I might be wrong though. So Dixon with wing damage up into P5 as well. Fantastic showing from him as we see 2/10 ahead of our pole sitter Lynx. Both with penalties as well. Let's go back to this battle here. They do not change position. Let's have a look at Rosie, who is now on the back end of Statistic King there. Down the inside, and there is massive contact. It's now 3 wide. That is out. This is going to end in tears, I feel. Somehow it didn't end in tears. Lou, press the word. Press the word and it will black out for you. It will unstar for you. You've got to press it and then it will get rid of it. As we see Pimis here on the back of Rosie, only 4/10 behind. These four are very close together. I'm just looking to see who else is close on track. Very close to all there, Pimis, but very well played. Big 6/10 behind Nivy in P8. But these guys are looking like the closest on track. So let's stick on board. We've got Sadistic 3/10 ahead of Lucky Boff, and then we've got Rosie 4/10 ahead of Pimis, who is also a second behind the two in front. And that is looking like someone hit the wall there. Was that Pimis or was that Rosie? But either way, we're going to come on board with these guys first on the overhead and then hopefully get both overtakes if they do happen. So we see fastest lap of 1:52.8 as there is now a yellow flag. There is looking like wing damage. There's no yellow flags on the map for me, and DRS is still open, so let's see if Lucky Boy is going to go down the inside and get this move done on Sadistic into turn 1. Slight tap there. Let's see if Pimis does get this move done. Rosie has pit. Sorry, well, I was trying to watch the move there, but I think Rosie must have got damage as we see Sadistic trying to send it back up the inside of Lucky there. You can see Lucky does have wing damage. I think Sadistic might also. Is this going to be close enough for a move on the inside? I think he's a little bit too far back, if I'm being honest, and decides better of it. The wing damage is really affecting Lucky in front, as we can see. Leppy is really closing in on Pimis as well. It's the fastest lap for Jay Williams. As we see Nivy going round big there. That is a fantastic move. Are they going to stay side by side? Cuts back in front of Big and takes that line. Let's go back up to P4 here. There's so much going on, ladies and gentlemen. If I'm missing anything in this race, please just shout away in the comments. You will not offend me because it's very hard to actually keep up at the moment. So, yeah. Anyone you want me to spectate, just give me a message in the chat. As we see P4 and 3 very close together there. 0.4 of a second. DRS will surely be enabled. It's already enabled. Will surely be activated for Rune there down this straight. Let's ride on board through this S section. See if he can gain on Caesar. A little bit of understeer there. That's going to really impact him for this. And slight touch of the wall as we see a yellow flag. I think that yellow flag was through the castle section. I believe that may have been Wild Dog. He is moving slowly though, and the yellow flag has now gone. We are going to go back to Big here, who is very close to... Oh, it was Luna, sorry, that I missed. Oh, that was because of the pit lane. But there we go. Big is to the left-hand side of Nivy there. Sean Galeo going to go down the inside. That move looked done before the yellow flags, but there is a yellow flag, I believe. Let's go to that part of the track, and it is Wild Dog. Wild Dog doing a Raganathan there and not being able to do a 3-point turn. That looked like he was actually stuck through the game there, though. So I'm not comparing you to Raganathan, Wild Dog. That looked very unlucky indeed. As you see, Dixon is now 3/10 behind this battle. 4/10 now with wing damage. Could Dixon get on the podium? See Luna only a few seconds behind. Could the ART team put some pressure on Caesar and Novez and even Jay Hartnell, as the gap is now 1.6 between first and second? There is a yellow flag, Sector 1. What has happened in Sector 1? I think we will see when we get to this part of the track. I think whoever it was, I think it was Leppy who has now got going again. Let's go back on board with Nivy, who is again right behind Big here. These two are having a fantastic battle from what I've seen anyway. Very entertaining, I must say. So in cars that are quite tricky to drive, like, let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, these cars are tricky to drive. Drive well anyway. I am going to move over to Dixon, I think, who is going to be in DRS and slipstream of Rune in front. Let's see how Dixon takes this section. With wing damage, still seems to take it really well, but I think Rune does also have damage from hitting the wall. And I believe this is going to be a textbook move into T1 there. Go onto the race shot as a fastest lap for Novas Wes, who has pulled in half a second on Jay Hartnell on the last lap. 3 laps to go. Could this be a fight for the win at the end of this race? See Dixon there getting the move done very well into turn 1 there. Novas is only 9/10 behind. Jay Hartnell has just been consistently plucking away in P1 from lap 1, so let's see if he can hang in there. Who else is close on track? We see Pimis and Safdar there into turn 1. Is Pimis going to be able to get DRS on the next straight? We know he will. Is he going to be able to use it on Sadistic King? Let's hope. DRS is activated. Yes, it is. Is Pimis going to slipstream Sadistic King and take P11 down the inside, or is he going to defend? He's not down the inside from Pimis there. Having to brake a little bit early. Rightly so. Didn't want to run wide into Sadistic. Very good driving by both drivers there. Is he going to go down the inside? No. Looking very racy is Pimis today. In P12 at the back of Sadistic King, who is our Tier 2 championship leader in F1. As we see, someone has hit the wall there, what it sounded like. We're going to have to go back to the front of the grid in a second. I'm going to go back to the front. I'm going to do what Tom told me to do earlier and go straight to Jay Hartnell here. and now go back to P2, right on board, see if he can gain through this section and with the DRS, see how powerful the DRS is. Definitely gaining, but I don't think he's close enough. Purple final sector for Nova's there. Clearly the slipstream and the DRS really helped, but Jay Hartnell is looking a little bit nervous there out of the corner. This is really going to test the racecraft of these drivers, that's for sure. Going to get off of that thing there as we see a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings for the Hound there. Still maintaining P1 and 2. Pimis does get past the stick and also moves up into P10, getting past Lucky Boff, who has pitted there. Who else is close on track? I'm going to keep it with the top guys here just for the final couple of laps because I do not want to risk missing anything in this race, especially for the lead. Especially for the final race of the season, I do not want to miss a pass on track if there is one. Through the castle section here, very close to the wall, very well taken indeed by both drivers. Newhands Dixon 2 seconds off of Caesar, does have a penalty as we have a yellow flag and Thunderbolt has retired on the pit straight there. Okay, that could have saved Jay Hartnell from being overtaken this lap anyway. If the yellow flags are still out, that could have potentially saved him from being overtaken. But we know what it's like with rules and Codemasters, so you never know. If Novas wants this move done, he's going to have to get it done before they enter the yellow flag zone, which I don't think he's going to be able to do. I think he's... Oh, that is very close from Jay Hartnell there. The yellow flag has now gone, so you're not being saved, Jay. As down the inside, they're now side by side. Let's go back to the... That's not the view I wanted. This is the view I wanted. The TV mode. Jay Hartnell ducking back into that slipstream. Is he going to get a move done down the inside? Is he going to send it? No. Going to save it for the next corner, I think, and maybe go for the DRS down the next straight. Who do we think is going to win this race, ladies and gentlemen? With just under 2 laps to go. Will it be Jay? Will it be Novas Wes? Or will it indeed be someone else? Let me know. Last 2 laps, come on guys. That is what we want to hear from Seb, encouraging our drivers there. 2 tenths from Jay Hartnell now. Is he going to send it down the inside? No, he is not. I thought there was going to be, as we see, Novas losing the back a little bit under braking there. Very good driving by these two. I do feel quite sorry for Jay Hartnell, who's led this race from start to nearly finish. Will he be able to get it back on the final lap? Who knows? Novas looks like he's losing the back end a bit. It'll be very interesting to see tyre wear for these two cars. Who has saved their tyres the most? Has Jay Hartnell saved more tyres and can push on this final lap and a half? Very well taken through the castle there. I think Novas may have tapped the wall there. No. If he did, he didn't get damage. So, okay. Seems to be pulling away from Jay Hartnell a little bit. As Leppy gets the fastest lap of the race with a 52.6 on those fresh super soft tyres. I do believe Novas may have this win in the bag. It all depends on the exit of this corner now. Jay Hartnell's got to get it perfect. He didn't take it badly, to be brutally honest. So I think Novas just took it a little bit better there. Through these S's, is he going to gain time? He has gained a little bit of time and then lost it on the exit of that corner. With the slipstream, the gap is coming down ever so slightly. I mean very ever so slightly. I don't think it's going to be enough this lap. DRS wide open now though. Now the gap starts coming down. Slight bit about braking there into turn 1, losing a little bit of time on the exit. And more importantly, I think that has gifted Novas the chance to pull out of the 1 second window. As we can see, no DRS activated. That slight snap moment cost Jay Hartnell a couple of tenths there, which meant he would no longer get DRS for this straight. Let's ride on board with Novas Wes here. It's been a fantastic race from him, I must say. Let's have a look at positions gained. That one there. Position gained, 3 gained for Novas Wes, 1 for Jay Hartnell, 4 for Caesar, 4 for Dixon. Luna and Rune staying the same. Last chance to change positions. You are correct. Going to ride through the castle section just so you guys can kind of see how tight it is for people not really that don't really watch F1, but that is very tight for these cars, and this is the track in real life, and it's just absolutely crazy. So to keep your concentration with damage on as well and not hit the inside wall through these laps is just a credit to itself. As we see another fastest lap there. Did not catch who that was, unfortunately. We've seen a great overhead shot here. Look how tight this track is. It is unbelievable. That looked like a slight close to a corner cut, or maybe a warning there from Novus. That would have been curtains if he got a penalty there on that corner. As we see rounding the final corner, and unfortunately there from Dixon, a 3-second penalty. He may drop 1 or 2 positions maybe. But as we see Novus here, no worry from the slipstream on DRS from Jay Hartnell, is going to take the final victory of the F2 season, the sprint race at Baku. Novus Wes crosses the line to take P1. A very good race there. Very good race from Jay Hartnell indeed. Very unlucky to lose it with a couple of laps to go. Justified on the podium, that's for sure. Great race from Cecil there. Rune jumps ahead of Dixon with his penalty in P4. Luna finishes 3 tenths behind Dixon after his penalty is applied. 5th and 6th. We see Big Balls Bowles, our champion for this season, finishing in P7 with Nibby crossing the line in P8. We see ARL Vintage there in P9. Pimis 1 taking a leisurely stroll to the line there, P10. Very good race from you, my friend, with Sadistic P11. Our pole sitter Lynx, very unfortunate today, P12 with a couple of mistakes there. With Jay Williams again filling in for today as a reserve. Definitely had some good race per craft as we see Jay Williams there giving us a nice little pirouette to the line to end this season. His teammate's not going to break by the looks of it. It's just going to go straight into Jay Williams there. A little bit of entertainment, setting the fastest lap and taking out his compatriot there on the final moment of his season. Obviously that was just the game there, so none of these guys actually had control of their cars when they crashed. We see Leppy there crossing the line, and the cars are still just, are they going to crash again? The car's just not moving. He's absolutely just written Jay Williams' car off there. Feel like an idiot now, the Flying Welshman, no setup, felt alright there. Very good racing from you guys there. Big Balls Bowles gets the driver of the day for the final race. Only fitting for our champion, that is for sure, for him to get the fastest lap, for him to get driver of the day. But personally, I would give it to our winner, very closely with Jay Hartnell, but I think it had to go to the winner after those who battled at the end there. Just got error in application. That is not good for you there, Dixon. You're definitely classified. If not, then we'll do it on count back from when everyone crossed the line. Dixon, you are classified in the race. There we go, P5 with fastest lap. So that is good. You have not been kicked from the game. But there we go, as we have a look at the weekend results. So Dixon taking 37 points in the final race weekend there. Thanks all of you. I'm going to go and have a drink because my mouth's a little bit dry right now. And yeah, I will see you all very soon. So peace out.